Alright, quick update on Dogelon Mars. So we made a video on this yesterday talking about how amazing this volume looks, and it does seem like we are getting a follow through on volume, which is very nice. We've already fulfilled our target all the way up here. We did say that this was probably going to be at least a region of resistance in the local terms. Now this is the 0.5 at 1201 for Dogelon Mars. You can see earlier today we did actually spike through this very strongly, and we spiked through it yesterday. I was watching this spike through earlier on today, but I wanted to check and see on the lower time frames how Dogelon Mars would react with the price, and we did unfortunately only manage to stay 2 hours above this before falling off the table. But it does look like in the lower time frames we are Wing out right now, so the lower time frames look like they are getting ready for a big move. I reckon if we see another increase in volume coming in like we have been seeing the last few days, that we are going to absolutely shatter through this. And I highlighted this in my previous video. We only have 80 days worth of data traded above the 0.5 here, and we did measure that approximately 20 of these days right here, about 18 or 20, were below this target. So we really only have 2 months worth of data traded in this point. So I do think this is, there's barely any volume traded around this region. I do think once we ping above the 1205 on the USD, that we are going to go on an absolute rally for Dogelon Mars. And that's pretty much all I've got for you. On the daily, once again, we are still pretty overextended, so I would like to see this cool down before I do consider perhaps entering more of a position on Dogelon Mars, because this is looking really good. Basically right now I've got just over a 1% allocation to Dogelon Mars. The other day it was only a 1% allocation, but we've gone up like 66%. So my thesis on why I hold 1% of my portfolio in Dogelon Mars is because I do think this is when all of the dog coins, all the meme coins are going to start rallying. I think this is going to do a face rip. I think this is going to go much higher than the previous all-time high, which, by the way, from where we are now is a 1.5x anyway. So I think a 10x is still very much on the table for Dogelon Mars in the short term. I think a 20x is my kind of longer term target that I do think Dogelon Mars will hit. So that's just a little bit of alpha on why I hold Dogelon Mars. I think it is going to do a face rip, and you can really see what just for the past week of price action we've gone up well over 70%. So Dogelon Mars can clearly face rip whenever it does want to. If we look at Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, you can also see they've been rallying, but they haven't been rallying as hard as Dogelon Mars. So I do think this is going to carry my portfolio in the short term. Once again, we are having a very nice increase in volume on the daily. Not bigger than the volume that we had coming in yesterday, but nonetheless this is still pretty much unrivaled volume, apart from when we go back to the start of this bull run. So you can see when the volume started increasing for Dogelon Mars round about here in October 2021, the volume just kept increasing week over week. So this is very good. I mean, there's no other way you can chop it really. Increasing volume predicts price. Once again, if we come down to the weekly, it has a lot of room to run up on the RSI and the MFI. So the MFI isn't even at the midpoint right now, meaning that it can literally run up very harsh if a lot of retail money gets into this. So that's basically all I've got for you for Dogelon. Once we do break the 0.5 here at the 1208, keep an eye on there. I do think we are going to have a very strong rip up to the previous all-time high. Candle body close being a 90% move, all-time high being up here at 121%. And once we do start breaking above the 0.5, I can draw the fib from the high. I'm going to do it to the candle body close all the way down to the low here, and we can start talking about some extension targets. So after we do hop above the 0.5, which is once again 1208, we will be heading up to the 618 up here at 1605, which I don't want to take the measurement move tool, because I think the number one area that you should keep your eyes on is this all-time high. This is where I've got my eyes on. Obviously not financial advice, it's just what I plan on doing in my trading plan. But what gets interesting after this, after we take out the all-time high 130% trade from where we are now, The 1.618 Fibonacci retracement is well over 2x. We take it to the 2.618 Fibonacci retracement. We've got a 417% trade on our hands over a 4x. Taking it to the 3.618 Fibonacci retracement, we have basically a 6x, and then the 4.236 Fibonacci retracement level is a 700% trade. So I do think Dogelon Mars is going to get ready to tear faces. I think with how dirt cheap the market cap is, it's not out of the question to say that we are going to do a face rip and do something like that. So I personally think 20x is definitely on the cards this year for Dogelon Mars. If not a 20x, definitely that 7x that we were talking about. And you know, I think we're going to probably overshoot that and do a 10x at least in this year. But that's just my own opinion. That is personally why I do hold a small allocation to Dogelon Mars. And once again, none of this is financial advice, it's just my own opinion on the market. Best of luck if you are holding Dogelon Mars. Yeah, cowboy out. Peace.